Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about a lot. We're going to basically just go over some thoughts because there's so much going on, and I see the sentiment for everything dropping, from real estate, the economy, politically, everything. Just since 2020, it seems like everything has just taken a bath, right? And I see a lot of comments all over the place from people that are losing hope. They're losing steam. I've dealt with a lot of issues, fears, not necessarily related to crypto, but just a general sense of depression, I think, across the board. And I see it, and I've been hearing it, and I'm seeing elements of this from friends and people that I know, and it's almost as if there's this huge dark cloud that's been looming and growing over the heads of everyone for the last couple years at least. And this idea that it's obvious that so much is going on behind the scenes everywhere you look. The veils have been pulled back on so many different topics, narratives, you name it. And, one of the things that I see a lot of is the number of people who got into the cryptocurrency space with this hope that they were going to be able to turn very little into a lot, because we've known for a long time that it's absolutely possible. Not only possible, but to some degree probable. However, in the midst of all of that, there's still a lot of risks. There are a lot of risks associated with investing in cryptocurrency, making the right picks, making the right moves, security, all sorts of different things. There are so many different things that could go wrong. And there are a lot of people out there still who they kind of shun crypto because all they hear is the bad stuff. They hear about the few, supposedly, that got wealthy in crypto. And then they hear about these horrible incidents, such as the FTX being the latest, Celsius before that, and so on. Different hacks, exchange hacks, you name it. And so it's almost like this yin and yang of, well, you could get really wealthy if you just survived all of the terrible things that happen all the time. Let me tell you something. When I discovered crypto back in 2017, I feel like it was a lot worse than it is now. Because regulation is a much more of a thing. We have bigger, more fearless whale hackers and people trying to do different things. But ultimately, I feel like to some degree, the space is safer today than it was 5 years ago, where literally it seemed like everything was a scam. And we didn't know it back then. And what is a scam? A project that gets funded and does its best to try and accomplish its goals, but fails, doesn't necessarily make it a scam. It's just a failed project. And we have had a lot of failed projects in crypto because it's difficult when you come up with an idea and you need the capital to hire the developers and the people associated with building this, and it just doesn't do well. But we use so many terms in crypto so loosely that they practically mean nothing anymore. Scam being one of them. Fraud is a term that should be used a lot more in crypto, obviously, but not necessarily a scam. I think in general, there are so many people out there that are being dissuaded from getting involved in the crypto space. And to some degree, I have to wonder how much of it is intentional and potentially by design. And, you know, like my mother is all about Cardano now. She watches my videos. She loves what I've done. She loves what I'm doing. You know, she wants to get into Cardano, and she's always asking me, you know, when should I get in? When should I get more? When should I get more? And I told her, just wait, just be patient. There's no rush. There really is no rush. I think 2023 is going to be a year where things get much, much worse. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I want everybody to understand that it's always darkest before the dawn, as they say. And I believe that 2023 is going to be that period where that's where we get darker. And the dawn to me is the Bitcoin halving in 2024. And we've got some time. So there's no mad rush to do much of anything right now other than continue to learn and continue to educate yourself, as I always say, and better understand the space, the market cycles. And quite frankly, I feel that too many people neglect politics in a big way. I did. I never really paid much attention to politics because I thought it was all just a big joke. But the older I get and the more I have to lose, the more politics plays a role in my life. And it's difficult because there's an abundance of gaslighting, misinformation, disinformation, mind-boggling, nonsensical garbage being spewed all over the place, eagerly awaiting your consumption. And a big part of the problem with that is that so much of this stuff is negative. I am so completely done with negativity across the board. I am so completely sick of everyone out there who has gotten so complacent and so bored in life that they have made it their whole purpose to just be terrible, to lie, to cheat, to steal, to be negative, to spread false narratives, to spread just gossip nonsense through and through, creating fake causes to give themselves purpose, to achieve some agenda that ultimately has nothing to do with anything. Right now, my wife and I were talking last night, and I'm just so tired of the negativity. And I know that it's the negativity that gets the headlines, it gets the views, it gets everything. It's either get rich or get negative. And it's pretty much, those are the only two messages we ever really see anymore. And I'm so tired of it. The world is a much bigger place than the algorithm spitting out the garbage that we consume on a day-to-day basis on YouTube and TikTok and anywhere else. The newspapers are so full of garbage and misleading information and misleading headlines that have really nothing to do with the content of the actual articles themselves, that are ultimately nothing more than a bunch of spin to continue perpetuating this idea or a narrative that's being concocted by those that seem to want to just control everything we do. And we buy it up so much, and we ignore the goodness in all things around us because we're constantly being brought down by just negativity at every turn. And it's getting to the point where I am absolutely disgusted by it all. And I know that I'm a part of the problem because I consume a lot of this negativity as well. When I flip up my phone, when I'm taking a bath and I don't feel like reading, and I get on TikTok and I swipe through and I see all these clips and news of all of the terrible things that this politician and that politician has done or whatever. And it's to a point where it's driving me kind of batty. I'm so sick of seeing it at this point. And I'm so sick of seeing the arguments. And honestly, I'm even tired of arguing. I'm tired of arguing with friends and people, realizing that we all come from a different background. We all come from a different lifestyle, different goals, different motives, different ways of processing and interpreting the same information. We're all going to be different. And that's just how it is. And it doesn't matter facts or data or information. None of that matters. It just does not matter. People that have their mind set on a particular idea or a concept or a belief, you're not changing it. It doesn't matter what you say, how they're disproven. It doesn't matter because for whatever reason, they've adopted their identity to an idea or a narrative that makes them feel whole and secure, and in some cases, righteous. And you're not going to change that no matter what you do. It is almost like quitting cigarettes. You can try everything. You can try a patch, you can try gum, you can try everything. But if that person does not want to quit, none of those crutches are going to help change their world. It's not going to help change anything for them. They have to want to quit. They have to want to be open to ideas, facts, information. And it's such a rarity nowadays because we've spent years, if not decades, being brainwashed and manipulated to think a certain way, and we're all affected differently. The one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of the people that think like me are also loners like me. I've always been a loner, and I'm fine with that. I'm completely self-reliant. I can get by just fine. I don't need the adoration, really. I don't need to feel like everyone agrees with me. I don't need to feel like my ideas are everyone else's. I don't need to think like other people. I actually take pride in my ability to research and understand things on my own without somebody having to regurgitate their own narrative mixed in with whatever it is they're trying to get me to consume. I'm completely fine with making my own opinions up. I'm completely fine with being my own individual person. I'm also completely fine with those that may disagree with things I think or say or feel or do, and that's okay. Difference is what makes the world go round. What I'm so tired of is this constant battle for supremacy. I'm so tired of this constant bombardment of garbage politically. If you don't realize that politically our country is completely and utterly fucked, I'm sorry, but nothing is going to paint that picture for you. Nothing is going to make you see any differently. If you can't see what's right in front of you right now, you're never gonna see it. It's just not gonna happen. But one day you're gonna wake up and wonder what went wrong. One day you're gonna wake up and realize that a lot of the things that you supported changed your life for the worse. And it's not gonna be the narrative that you were sold. It's not gonna be the world that you thought you were gonna have. You're gonna realize real quick that the cuffs that you've helped put on many, many others around you are now the cuffs you wear, and you're not going to understand why. That much I can pretty much guarantee. It's time for everyone to open their eyes and really understand what's happening, because the world is changing, whether you want it to or not. And there are very few key players in a lot of what's happening right now. There are very few people, very few. Maybe 100 people that are controlling everything going on, not counting their assistants and the people that are helping them. But the decisions are being made by very few people. Everyone else is just a pawn in that game. The flip side to this is, while this world is changing, and so many of us are choosing to ignore the other side, to ignore a lot of the facts, to ignore a lot of data associated with it, because I'm not saying either side is 100% accurate. It's definitely not time to lose hope. And it's definitely not time to lose faith. Faith in anything that helps drive you. Faith in yourself, faith in your family, faith in your God, faith in your ability to get things done, to your faith in whatever helps you get through each and every day. And this video is really just about me showing my disdain for where we're at as a society overall, but at the same time trying to encourage yourself, myself, and everyone else to start paying closer attention and start making better decisions. You know, when we're talking about the crypto space and the number of people that, mortgage their houses so they could take money out and put it into risky investment opportunities such as FTX or anything else, who have seemingly lost their money forever if they're not made right. Those are just irresponsible decisions. And while I understand it, and I understand that, when you feel like you have all of the media and celebrities and everybody telling you that something is good, this is good for you, this is wonderful, they build your trust. They make you believe that what you're seeing is a reality that you could now enjoy yourself. This reality being an answer to a prayer, an answer to a dream, a solution to a problem. How did that work out for FTX and those involved? The idea is in crypto that we invest in the technology we love because it supports the use cases that we believe we need, and that these blockchains solve problems in our everyday life. That is how we are going to get mass adoption. And that mass adoption is what will ultimately turn pennies into dollars and poor into millionaires. And it's not necessarily through taking extremely risky actions in a crypto space that still has so many issues, so many holes, and so many flaws. It's about educating one another, not on the latest hype train or the latest meme token that's going to go to the moon from, a thousandth of a penny to just 1 penny, and we're all going to get rich. All of these concepts that are basically spawned by greed for the greedy. When I first got into crypto, I was fascinated by the technology. I was fascinated by the opportunity. I knew that this was something that I had to absolutely take part in every way I possibly could, because I knew that this was a new era of technology that was going to absolutely change the world, and it's still new. This is all still new. And there are a lot of people out there who, all they know about Bitcoin is that it goes up and that it goes down, and they don't understand how that's such an amazing opportunity for people. They don't take the time to try and understand the technology or what's actually being built, how that technology is evolving and changing over time, how it's getting better from generation to generation, cycle to cycle, and the opportunities are abundant. But you have to spend the time. And you have to put in the work. And I don't mean put in work just watching us YouTubers out here talking at you or talking to you, telling you what we think. You have to learn enough to establish your own opinion on the projects that you learn to grow and love and want to use for whatever reason. As I shown in 2017, when I picked up on Cardano at a time when nobody liked it, nobody believed in it, nobody saw the moon, so to speak, and everyone was focused on other things, well, I did really well. And in the next market cycle, when I continued on, as I continued educating myself about Cardano and keeping an eye on its roadmap deliveries and its investment development milestones and all of that, again, at a time where there's so much FUD, when venture capitalists and the media and everybody is either leaving it out of an argument, leaving it out of a discussion, intentionally trying to suppress it in favor of what they were all into. And still, I did really well. And so did many of you that have been watching me this whole time. I didn't adopt Cardano because it was part of some new hype train. I adopted Cardano because of what it was building, because of its papers, because of its reports, and everything that I was diving into and loving every bit of, the way it made me feel as I continue to explore its plans for the future. And I continue to get excited about what's coming. And that's not because you told me about it. It's not because some other YouTuber told me about it. It's because I discovered it on my own. I did the work, and it's treated me very, very well. My point is, it's time to educate yourself on the space enough that you can discover your own projects. Not just Cardano, because the crypto space isn't just about Cardano. There's so much, and there's going to continue to be so much more opportunity. And for any of you out there watching this ramble and thinking, oh, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about, he's just rambling on, I'm clicking off, that's totally fine. But the message is very clear. You're here, you're interested in a bear market when very few people are paying attention, and those that are just watching the FUD of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and all the money laundering potential of the story and where the money went politically and this and that, just a bunch of negativity. But you're missing the point. You're missing the overall point of all of this. The reason why things like FTX were possible is because this world right now is full of nothing but opportunity as the retail market continues to go down all over the place, as the traditional stock markets continue to plummet and go down further, as I'm sure they're going to continue to do into 2023. You're going to have your moon boys out there who want your views and they want your attention. They want to give you this false hope that everything is going to turn around on a dime tomorrow because the bottom is in and we're going to the moon. Could we get a new peak in 2023? I'm seeing these videos and I want to vomit. And I feel bad for anybody that watches this stuff because it's not reality. It's hype. It's FOMO inducing garbage that has no merit today, given what's happening in the world around us. But what is real is that the opportunity is still here and the opportunities continue to grow each and every day as this, whatever you want to call it, is running things into the ground. And the thing of it is, and the one thing that you can always count on when you see the economy being tanked, you see the prices for everything going up, you see inflation, you see just horrible, just money printing out the wazoo. And you see everything that's happening right now. The one thing you can count on is the greed of those that are inducing it. And when the greed of these individuals kicks in, they're feeding themselves now. They're giving themselves raises. They're driving the economy into the tank, further and further. But what goes down is going to go back up. And rest assured, when it does, they will all have their stakes. They'll all have their new relationships, the new direction of the world. ESG focused companies, I'm sure, are going to do very well. They're going to receive so much money from governments and from other companies and from venture capital firms and so forth and so on. So keep an eye on those because that's going to be a big deal. And by creating these little verticals within an industry such as ESG, it's very easy for these people at the top to tell those below them, these are the companies that are going to get better. These are the companies that we're going to fund and we're going to work with. And this is probably where you should put your money if you're a part of this overall agenda. It doesn't necessarily mean that these ESG companies are really doing anything other than it helps guide their followers. It helps guide the people that are a part of their agenda, sharing in its missions and goals and giving them a finger point into the direction of where they should probably put their money if they want to profit off of this agenda, off of all of their collective efforts. And that's fine. That's what I try to do in crypto. I can't blame them. When I see the world changing and I see all of these things happening on a regular basis that continue to push the markets down and draw questions to the minds of everyone paying any attention, what's going to happen next? When do we bottom? When do we go up? When moon? What's next? I don't know. 2023 is very likely going to get worse. And then we're going to get closer to the halving, and we're going to have already bottomed by the halving. I'm pretty positive of that. And, this is still an opportunity that each and every one of you, I don't care if you work in a McDonald's or a Krispy Kreme or a Starbucks. And, I don't care what your, I think overall, I would love to see more people, more liberal people, more people with these liberal ideas and these liberal mindsets get involved in the crypto space. And some of you guys are going to be like, whoa, Crow, no way. We don't want that drama here. No, it's a good thing. Because in my opinion, if you want a lot of these people to understand more of the conservative mindset, they need more to lose. And that's my honest opinion, because I see so much hate and anger and frustration from so many of these people that they're constantly looking outside themselves for answers, for help, for support, for change. And I think in reality, if they were to get involved in the cryptocurrency space and they actually start seeing growth and making investments and making decisions and really understanding that capitalism isn't about controlling the world and some patriarchy controlling it, keeping everything down. That's all garbage. I'm sorry, it's garbage. I could go on a ramble of a billion different reasons why that idea is just garbage, especially today. Maybe years and years ago it was much more true, but today, no, I'm sorry, that's insanity. But I believe that a lot of the things that are happening politically, economically, and so forth, they're being ushered in off of the back of a lot of these emotionally triggering ideals that I feel like, quite frankly, a lot of liberal people accept and they cheer, and because they don't understand what it really means, and I believe that a lot of that perception would change as more of these individuals who are loud and proud and angry have more to lose. Because I tell you right now, when I was young and I had nothing to lose, I didn't care about any of this. I thought, doesn't mean anything. Doesn't benefit me. It doesn't impact me at all. I can have whatever beliefs I want. I can think whatever I want. It doesn't mean anything. I don't matter. And as I grow older and I realize that these things do matter, and they don't just matter for me, but they matter for my children and my grandchildren someday, my friends, everyone. These things impact us all. And the more I have to lose, the less I want some government taking it all from me on some idea that I've busted my ass my entire life to get to where I am. And now somebody who literally has no desire whatsoever to do anything other than, I don't know, like make coffee and yell at people. I mean, that I'm somehow, it's my responsibility to support them. Like it's my job to somehow support my quote unquote enemy across the line because they've made bad life decisions, or they feel like they're being held down or held back, when in reality, it's like Jerry Maguire in Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character. He mentally held himself back. He always had a chip on his shoulder. Like the world was keeping him from being the greatest football player he could be. Right? I mean, that was the whole premise of the movie for the most part. And once he got it through his head that it was him that was holding himself back, he went on to play wonderfully and went on to get big contracts and become a star. And I feel like that opportunity is readily available for each and every one of us if you just decide to take it, if you just decide to do it. But see, the thing of it is everything that we do that's going to benefit us in this quote unquote state of capitalism, we have to put in the work. We have to put in the time. We have to put in the effort to change our lives and use the opportunities that present themselves to us and be ready for it. A lot of people say, oh, wow, you got into crypto back in 2017. You got lucky. Is that luck? Or was it preparation meeting opportunity? When I would train salespeople and loan officers, and I used to always say, luck is just preparation meeting opportunity. People say, oh, well, I just had this great meeting with a real estate agent and we had a great conversation and I educated them on this, that, and another thing. And my wife is just calling me. So I hold on, I'm recording a video. Is everything okay? Okay. Love you, bye. She loves to call me at the worst possible times. That's the first time she's called me in a week, but now that I'm recording a video, she instinctively knows to make my phone ring and draw my attention. It's just how she works. And it's almost like magic, because she always just texts me. So anyway, that's kind of funny. I don't really even remember exactly what I was saying, other than, if you're not willing to put in the work to change your life, you're not going to get anything out of it. And if that is somehow holding you back or oppressing you or keeping you down, that sounds like something that you likely need to self-reflect on. The reality of all of this is you can accomplish absolutely anything you want to. Like I was telling the story of, a loan officer having a great meeting with a real estate agent, and they start building a relationship with that agent, and they start getting a lot of really good deals that are making them a lot of money. And it's, somebody could say, oh, you got lucky with that agent. You got lucky because you made a bunch of calls and you got lucky getting one to answer their phone to set up a meeting. Was that luck, or was that preparation meeting opportunity? The preparation of it being, They learned how to make those phone calls properly. They learned how to connect with people in a way that creates that connection, builds that resonance, that rapport, that mutual respect, that mutual trust that allows them to get the meeting. And then once at the meeting, they knew how to relate to that agent's issues, concerns, needs, and be able to address them verbally in a way that inspired that real estate agent to want to make a change in the business they were doing. You know, changing their loan officer, changing the person they were doing business with. That's all preparation meeting opportunity. That's not luck. You know, luck is walking down the street and finding a bag with $1 million that some billionaire threw out a window because he wanted to be charitable. That's luck. Seizing opportunity, educating yourself in preparation for the opportunities that may come next. That's not luck. That's preparation meeting opportunity. And it's something that each and every one of us has, but so many people sit around bitching and complaining about the opportunity they don't have instead of preparing themselves for the opportunities that have already passed them by they didn't know how to capitalize on. And that's overall the mission of this video, is to put things into perspective. I have friends of all walks of life. I have friends that I know and love well. From liberal friends, conservative friends, people in the middle who just couldn't give two shits. I have friends, and I don't judge any of them. I don't care what their beliefs are. I don't care. I don't care about any of the garbage. What I care about is the idea that what's happening right now is actually holding people back. It is absolutely pushing people away from opportunity. And, you know, the cryptocurrency space is not going anywhere, folks. I mean, I've got news for you. It's only going to get bigger, better, and stronger. The question is are you going to get bigger, better, and stronger with it? Or are you going to sit around complaining about the woes of yesterday? The way you got screwed today because you tried to throw a bunch of money at something that promised you huge gains and huge returns and it didn't go well. That's the question you need to ask yourself. You know, I've said on several interviews, I originally got into, 35 different crypto projects early on, and I tried to learn everything I could about all of them, and the majority of them were worthless. They didn't achieve anything. And by the time all was said and done, Cardano is the one project that has continued pushing forward in development and change and quite frankly, profitability. And I am very much interested in the Cardano ecosystem. And I am going to be continuing to do more research into a lot of these projects. But my biggest test right now is to see what projects started before the bear market on Cardano and have continued to build throughout, and how those projects continue to move forward. Those are the ones that I feel are going to be much more worth my time than this project just launched yesterday and it hasn't been really tested and whatever. I mean, that's where my head's at. And there are a lot of really good budding projects on the platform, and I'm definitely going to be looking into them. I'm going to be doing more content on them. But I guess, this whole video, obviously this is an outline. This is just me talking to a camera in hopes that it maybe resonates in a positive way with somebody. There's some negativity here as well, because I myself am trying to deal with it. I myself am trying to wash away all of the negativity that I feel, that I absorb, that I take in from day to day. I'm so tired of it. And I think I need to figure out ways to focus my time and my energy on more positive things. Obviously, with my game, I'm working on my game and my social media platform and my Murder of Crows NFTs, and I'm going to get more active in that again here because I've just been building things, and I'm trying to do so many different things to keep my mind occupied at a time when it's just, there's so much doom and gloom. But I guess I want to paint this picture that it's temporary. I see stories of people who, let's just say they meet an untimely end on their own accord. And I see stories of people who apparently just can't take it anymore. They're struggling through depression and grand scales. They're struggling because everywhere they look, it's terrible. Everywhere they look, it's like hope is being lost. I see comments down below in my videos all the time, like, I just want to give up. I just want to give up, Crow. No. This isn't about giving up. This is about standing up. It's not about quitting. It's about continuing the fight. And in some ways, for many of you, the easiest way and the best way for you to continue the fight is to continue educating yourself and stop taking unnecessary risk. Stop chasing the dollar, chase the tech. That's the best advice I could give you. Stop chasing these pipe dreams of making 500 APY on shit coins that don't mean anything anyway. If I launch a token today and I say, if you buy this token and then you stake it, I'm going to pay you 500% APY, and my token does nothing, it means nothing and serves no actual purpose other than to give you more tokens that don't mean or are valued at shit, why? Why would I buy them? What purpose does that solve other than the greedy who are putting this project out, trying to connect with the greedy or the needy and give them this pipe dream that if they only invest in this crap token, they'll get so much more of it. And the more people that want it, the more valuable that crap token will be. So if you get in early, all of this is all Ponzi bullshit nonsense. If you research and understand the tech, I just did an interview with Metamona, great woman, loves the metaverse, met her in Miami. And you know, we talked about this a bit. You know, it's just one of those things that the more you learn, and even if you're reading white papers, you're reading technical documents that you don't understand, just keep reading. Because like anything else, you'll start to make sense of a lot of these things that make no sense right now. You just have to push forward. You can't be dissuaded. You can't. When I first started reading technical white papers, I had no idea what was happening. Anyway, I thought I heard my Sonos going off for no reason, and I control it on my phone. So anyway, I mean, you know, this video is long. It's not going to get a lot of views. It's not going to do a lot of anything. And I accept that. That wasn't really the point. I think ultimately I just wanted to let you know, like, 2023 is going to get worse. Don't worry about it. Just keep your head down. Keep working. Keep learning. Prepare yourself. Average in if that's what you want to do. I'm going to be, I can tell you that right now. 2023, I'm quite confident is going to be my big average in year. And I'm going to prepare myself for what's to come because, like I said, it always gets darkest before the dawn. And, you know, 2023 is very likely going to be the eve before the dawn. And you have to just continue educating yourself, making moves. Don't make irrational decisions in the crypto space. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. Do your best to try and keep everything as secure as possible. Yeah, you know, keep watching, subscribe, like. I'm going to educate you on some really cool stuff. And as you know, I'm going to call it as I see it. It doesn't matter what companies pay for paid segments. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You know, I'm going to give it to you straight. You know, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about whatever's going on. I'm always right sometimes, which means continue to do your own research. Don't just listen to me or listen to anyone else out there. Sometimes we all get a little lazy. We talk about projects that maybe we're not that into, but there's enough demand or enough people talking about it that you feel like you got to. Just because I talk about a project doesn't mean I own it. Doesn't mean I want to own it. Doesn't mean I even care that much. You just never know. It's a struggle to keep going with content on a regular daily basis when there's not that much excitement to talk about. So just keep that in mind as you move forward with me, with everyone out there. But at least with me, you know, I'm always going to give it to you straight. I'm going to call it how I see it. I can't be bought, but my time can be paid for. And outside of that, yeah, that's it. Grow your coins. Have a good day. Let's start changing the direction of things to be more positive from now on. I think I'm definitely going to be making it a point to start focusing more on the positivity of the market as opposed to the doom and gloom. You know, the politics of everything, I'm just going to leave because a lot of the stuff doesn't matter, in my opinion. I mean, it does matter. It matters in a big way, but I think I think the best way to fight a lot of that is to continue educating myself, making positive financial moves that very few are making. And that's going to help me combat a lot of the coming changes, hopefully, as we move into 2024 all the way up to 2030. You can either be somebody that is at the mercy of these things, at the mercy of these changes, or you can be somebody that can afford to avoid some of it if you need to. Things happen here you don't like. If things happen in your state that you don't like, you can move out of it. You can afford to make the changes in your life that you feel are necessary. And I think that's honestly going to be the biggest way that any of us can really fight a lot of what's going on right now, until maybe someday we get enough money together, we can start making some real legal changes like BitBoy's been working on. So until next time, crow your coins, and I'll see you soon.